Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of KJ's What Happened. This is covering the past week. Hope you've had a good week. I hope we've had a good weekend. This is the new night. We'll be doing this on Sunday nights. I asked last week, it seemed most people wanted to do it on Sunday, so that's why we're here. Anyway, without tarrying any longer, there's a lot to get into. So let's just go ahead and just start taking a look at what this week was like, okay? So we'll go ahead and start right here with this one. Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, he's painting a lot here lately. I don't know if you've seen any of this stuff. I've showed some last week he did of Jared Kushner, painting him as if he was like the Antichrist. But he's still at it. Jim Carrey's still at it, and he's painting the gruesome death of Trump's sons. So in the painting, Donald Trump Jr. has a bloody elephant tusk rammed through his stomach, and Eric a bloody tusk through the heart. The men are shown with their hunting rifles, seemingly a slight at the son's big game hunting hobby. So there's that picture there Jim Carrey did. Which the only thing with all this that I think is kind of weird is that, you know, Jim Carrey's going through a lot of changes. We've all seen it. I did a few videos. I put them up on the website. But he's been going through a lot of changes. And he's supposed to be playing Eckhart Tolle in a new movie pretty soon. And Eckhart was really into mind-expanding drugs and stuff like this. So it seems Jim Carrey may have been experimenting some or something and had some kind of a breakthrough. So, because now when you see him in interviews and whatnot, he talks a good spiritual game, right? He sounds really deep, like some kind of guru or something. But that's the deal. With as much as he talks about love and being deep and spiritual, he keeps doing these random paintings, these hateful paintings of people involved with the Trumps. I mean, that's what's happening now. It could be somebody else next time, but I don't know. Anyway, here's some more of his pictures. This is what's her name? So it says, this is not the first time Carrey has gone after members of Team Trump. Earlier this month, the actor painted Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who's only the third female to ever serve as White House press secretary, where he said this is the portrait of a so-called Christian whose only purpose in life is to lie for the wicked. Monstrous. And that's Jim Carrey. That's where he's putting his energy. Whoa, there's another one he did. I haven't seen this one. I guess this has to do with the Stormy Daniels controversy. Yeah. There's another one. So yeah, he's got this, obviously he's got a thing on Trump, this guy. Anyway. You've probably heard about this kind of behavior before. Usually it's involved, back in the day, it seemed like it was mostly involved with serial killers. Like serial killers, most of the big ones, they'd interview them in jail and you'd find out that they were getting tons of fan mail from females and even marriage proposals and stuff like this. So it looks like kind of the similar things happening with Nicholas Cruz now here. So let's see what the story says. Are they talking about it? Can we hear it? Let's see.
To stomach, but teenage girls, women, and even older men are sending letters to the suspected mass murderer, Nicholas Cruz.
Stacks of fan mail and love letters are now piling up at the Broward County Jail. CBS 12's Lulu Ortiz joins us live outside the jail tonight in Fort Lauderdale with a closer look at these letters and an expert's view behind the killer's groupies. Lulu?
Now, Nicholas Cruz remains here behind bars on suicide watch, so he has not seen any of the letters. Now, many find it very disturbing because these letters are coming from all over the world, mostly from teenage girls. If you need to talk, I'll listen. Only if you're comfortable. Please send me a picture of yourself. I will continue to pray for you and your brother. You can write back. These are just a few examples among the stacks of fan mail obtained by our partners at the Sun Sentinel. Hundreds writing to Nicholas Cruz, men and women, young and old, from all over the world, from New York to as far as Germany. Some offering friendship, encouragement, or even money. Most of the letters from teenage girls include a description of what they look like or a provocative photo.
There's a certain charisma attached to these people.
Clinical and forensic psychologist Dr. Lawrence Miller says fans or groupies are usually people who are lonely or feel they are unlovable.
Anyway, I think we get the gist of that, but isn't that pretty crazy? This guy's got teenage girls sending provocative pictures. This guy, no matter what real level of involvement he was involved in, because there's so many conflicting stories, but still very interesting, I'd say. Looks like we got a YouTube video coming up. What do we got here? Oh, okay, so check this out. So there's more of this stuff going on. Is this never mind. I think this is just a picture. Here's a photo that some people took allegedly of the Washington Bridge when they said this random orange glowing cloud just kind of showed up during traffic. I've looked all over for video. I couldn't find it. I saw this story in a few different places, but don't know exactly what that is. But I'll get a bigger picture. But that's it. Apparently, allegedly, this actually happened on the George Washington Bridge. Don't know what it means. All right, so this is pretty crazy. Let's just go ahead and play this out. Have you heard about this? Look at this huge crack. Go ahead and make this bigger. Look at that. That massive crack. That's pretty crazy. That's like something out of one of those disaster type movies. So anyway, there we go. That's better video. Wow, isn't that crazy? Massive crack showed up on the earth. Pretty good shot of it right there. Yep, obviously on a fault line. And there you go. So we got another one of these mysterious booms, mysterious light and boom. This time the boom is associated with the light, which is something apparently coming into our atmosphere, but we'll take a look at it here. See if I can play this one.
New at 11, what was it? Take a look at the mysterious light in the sky. There you see it, followed by a loud boom that rattled some San Jose neighborhoods. The majority of the people that witnessed it live near Branham High School off 85 and Almaden Expressway. NBC Barry's Ian Cole is live near there. And Ian, any idea what this was?
No, we simply don't know what it is, but most people tell us it was louder than any firework they've ever heard. They say they felt it inside their homes. And one thing is clear tonight, that this has now become the talk of at least several San Jose neighborhoods.
You can see this is coming from way over on this side.
This video posted to a South San Jose Nextdoor page shows a small light travel across the sky for about a minute. Then a flash and boom, and it disappears.
Oh yeah, that doesn't do it justice at all.
Dale Johnson says it shook windows and set off car alarms Sunday just before midnight.
New Year's Eve, there's always some mortars or M100s or even M1000s going off.
It seriously looks like when in Star Trek or some of these other movies where they go into hyperdrive. That was a good sound. Look, check this out. But it looks like something to me out of a movie or something, right? Watch this.
Nextdoor had more than 100.
We know what those said. This was nothing like that.
He's not alone. Next door had more than
Interesting, right?
120 comments. People saying it sounded like it was right outside their front door.
Here's one I want to play out for us for a little bit. It's pretty awesome. So this has to do with Joe Biden. Somebody went to recently. Joe Biden was doing some kind of a, I don't know if it's a conference or whatever, but he was speaking at looked like a town hall event or something. He was up on stage, and this guy that was out here in the audience wound up kind of calling him out and filming it at the same time. I did a video on this. I put it on my YouTube channel, or not YouTube, on my website way back, but it's about creepy Joe Biden, and other people have covered this as well. There's a lot of video footage and even photograph type footage of Joe Biden being a real creep, a real lech, especially with young girls. So there's something really weird about creepy Uncle Joe Biden. But he gets real handsy with young ladies quite a bit. Even there's a couple of photos I put up there in my video of him kissing little boys on the lips, you know. So, and they weren't his kids. I mean, even if it was his kids, it'd be kind of weird to me. But like just other people's little boys, he's kissing on the lips. So something's going on there. This is a little creepy. But anyway, I thought this is pretty cool. So let me blow this up a bit. It's kind of dark, but you can hear it pretty well. So check this out.
Why did you molest all those girls on C-SPAN? At the Senate ceremonial swearings in. Why did you molest those girls? It's all on YouTube. Yeah. You know you did it. Everybody's seen it.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Chris Coons' daughter?
Get out of here.
What, do you deny it? Do you deny it? Just look it up on YouTube. Molesting children. Right on YouTube. Right on live on C-SPAN. Look it up. Look it up, Peter Joe.
We don't hear from you. Loser.
You already heard from me. You're a pedophile. Enjoy the show, folks. Enjoy the show.
What's your name? What's your name? Let me see your ID.
What?
You're on private property.
Hey, come outside, sir. Come outside.
You're on private property.
Let's go outside.
I know where I'm at.
Okay.
Let's just go outside.
It's a public. I mean,
It's not public.
I don't have First Amendment rights.
You have.
Do I have First Amendment rights?
You do.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I just exercised
But
them.
not on private property. On
I don't-
public property.
I don't have
Yes.
First Amendment rights on.
On private property during this event? No.
Okay.
Let me see your ID. Let me see your ID.
What do you want to see my ID for?
I need to see your ID.
I'll tell you my name.
What's your name, sir? What's your name?
Howard Kaplan,
Where do you live, Howard?
Philadelphia.
Would you come down to this event today?
Yeah.
How'd you get here?
What's the relevance of how I got here?
Do you have a car here?
No, I did not.
How did you get here?
Well, obviously I took public transportation.
How do you plan to leave?
Public transportation. N20, Long Island Railroad.
All right, I think you get the gist.
Yeah, that's why I took it.
Also gave me a chance to lock Chubbs up in kitty prison again for now, but he'll be out here in just a little while with good behavior. Trans couple wed. Gosh, man, more of that. Just, I mean, this reality turning upside down stuff. Transgender Army officer Hannah Winterborn weds actor Jake Graff, who used to be a woman. So they've completely flipped the paradigm here. Yeah. Captain Hannah, 31, who spent her first few years in the Army as a man, wed Jake, 40, in London. The delighted bride said on Monday night, "I never thought when I was younger this could happen to me. It was always a pipe dream." Pipe dream. The couple tied the knot with a romantic white wedding, saying, "We're just like any other bride and groom." Captain Hannah wed Jake in a ceremony that she described as like a Disney movie. Disney is wicked, so Hannah, who will now be living with Jake in Army married quarters near her barracks, added, "To me, I'm just another girl married to another guy. As you transition and meet someone new, you kind of forget about your past. You kind of forget that you used to have a wiener." Pretty crazy stuff, though, man. It really is, you know. It's your new reality here. Seems like every week there's a new story out of China just being China, being even more communist, really coming down on the people. China's using AI and facial recognition to find jaywalkers via text. Traffic authorities in the Chinese city of whatever that word is have teamed up with an AI firm named IntelliFusion to carry out the rather dystopian policing. Already, traffic police in the city have been using IntelliFusion software and cameras to identify passing jaywalkers and project their faces in identifying information on large screens located near intersections for all to see. Did you guys know they did this? That really is just straight up like something out of one of these dystopian future movies, you know? They've already been using IntelliFusion software and cameras to identify passing jaywalkers and project their faces in identifying information on large screens near intersections for all to see. This public shaming thing. Oh, they jaywalked, right? But still. But now IntelliFusion is taking its surveillance a step further. The company is partnering with social media platforms, including WeChat and Sina Weibo, and local mobile phone carriers, so it can text jaywalkers the second they offend. Oh, nice. Nice. Holy Cross theology professor says Jesus was drag king with queer desires. Uh-oh. When they do this, when they start doing that. The theology program at the Jesuit-run college. Are you surprised now? Are we surprised that someone out of a Jesuit-run college? Jesuits are enemies of Christ, by the way. Jesuit-run college. The theology program at the Jesuit-run College of the Holy Cross has taken on a new tone ever since the school appointed a gender-obsessed chair of New Testament studies who claims Jesus was a drag king. Writing for the Fenwick Review, Eleanor Riley of the Holy Cross class of 2018 argues in a March 26th article that Professor Tat Seong Binnie Liu's unconventional readings of Scripture have brought a new theological perspective to Holy Cross. Letting the facts speak for themselves, Ms. Riley suggests that the centrality of sex and gender to his way of thinking about the New Testament significantly colors the way that Professor Liu presents Jesus Christ. In a remarkable rereading of the Bible, Professor Liu has argued that Jesus is not only King of Israel and King of the Jews, but also a drag king. Wow. As presented in the New Testament Gospel of John. St. John's constant references to Jesus wanting water, giving water, and leaking water speak to Jesus' gender indeterminacy and hence his cross-dressing and other queer desires. Wow, that is totally adding to the book, right? It's the last sentence in the Bible is do not add to, right, this book or take out or whatever. Basically, don't do your own personal edits on the Bible. Reading everything through the lens of gender, Professor Liu finds sex in the most unlikely places in the life of Jesus. The episode of Jesus washing the apostles' feet at the Last Supper, for example, is suggestive like a literary striptease, gross, and even seductive. Oof. Because it shows and withholds at the same time, he claims. I mean, this guy is like, you know, he's a pervert on the brain, obviously, you know, and he's just kind of making stuff up as he goes along. Lou's sexualization of the sacred Christian text goes beyond the reinterpretation of actions and extends to gender identity as well. For instance, Lou stated that in his gospel, St. John makes very clear that Jesus is a Jew, but he is less clear about whether Jesus is a biological male. Ruh-roh. In passages that would be considered blasphemous to devout Christians, Lou eroticizes Jesus' relationship to his disciples, and even to God the Father, proposing that Jesus himself needs others to, oh boy, cum with the Father. Oh boy. Like, I feel dirty just reading this article. Anyway, I think we get the gist of it. But, yeah, highly blasphemous. This is just kind of weird. This chicken has survived for 9 days after having its head hacked off, and the internet can't cope. Well, look at that, man. Isn't that crazy? The chicken's head is... Pretty weird, huh? Pics appear to show a chicken with only a bloodied stump where its head used to be, yet somehow still standing up. They were shared online by social media. A vet named Supakitty Arun Thong is reportedly caring for the bird by dropping food down its neck and giving it antibiotics. She says it seems tame and eats well, and was quoted as saying, "The animal has its life. If it wants to live, we feed it." Wow, dropping food down the hole. Look at that. Huh. Yeesh. Guess here's another one that did it before, lived with its head chopped off. You probably heard about this guy. We did a story on him a few months back. This guy wanting to take his own rocket, fly up into the sky, and prove the Earth is flat. He's I believe he's an ex-stuntman, this guy. Mad Mike Hughes is his name. So anyway, he wound up taking off. I guess once he got up there, realized he didn't go as high as he needed or wanted. So he's going to do it again. He made it back to the Earth with minor injuries. Still can't prove the Earth is flat. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. So there you go. Mad Mike Hughes. At least this guy's actually putting the work in and doing something. You know what I mean? As opposed to just getting all of his information online. He's out there and he's like, you know what? I'm going to try to figure this thing out. So there you go. Mad Mike Hughes. This is just random. I threw this in. I've talked about this before. I'm real fascinated with Japan. It just seems like such a really weird culture. It seems like a really strange place, this Japan. This is running kind of slow, probably because of all the... There we go. But this is a cosplay street festival. This isn't just like a normal day in Japan. This is a day where a lot of the people like to dress up and as their favorite anime characters and sometimes just pop culture characters. But Japan just seems very fun and whimsical and weird, and I'm just fascinated with it. I hope I can go there sometime. It's my plan. Not even say hope. I'll say I will get there sometime. I'll go to Japan. I'll figure it out. I just don't know how I'm going to get Chubbs out there with me. This jumps off a different story, I believe. I'll come back to that. Yeah, what's going on with all these acid attacks? That's another one where it seems like every week there's another acid attack, usually in the UK, where people are just walking down the street and somebody throws acid right in their face. I mean, any of you out there listening from the UK, maybe you can fill this in, but what's going on with this, man? I mean, is it really as common as it seems? Seems like it's a big deal. And like I said, every week or so, it seems like someone's getting hit in the face with acid. The UK now has one of the highest number of recorded acid attacks per person of any country in the world, and the figure is expected to rise further. Senior officers believe the horrific crimes are not always being reported, meaning the unprecedented number of known assaults using corrosive substances may be a fraction of the true total. More than 400 such attacks were recorded in 6 months to April, an average of 2 a day, so I guess it is happening a lot. 2 people have so far died as a result of acid attacks, with many more left with life-changing injuries, and pressure has been mounting on authorities to act. Like, where did this start? Do you guys know in the chat? You can tell us, or in comments below if you're from out in that area. Who's doing it to who? You know, and why did this start? And is there certain groups of people that are mainly doing this? I don't know. Is that what this is? I mean, if this is some of the Muslim folk out there doing that, you know, is that why the paper's not saying? Now, again, I'm not trying to blame all the Muslims, but I don't know. There is a lot of crime out there, so they've had a lot of issues with all the borders dropping, a lot of the things happening in Europe with these a lot of the Muslims infiltrating all these different countries. There have been a big rise in crime. Sweden, I think, is the one where they've got, like, you know, rape is off the charts right now, you know, and there's such a kind of like weak. Apparently it's beautiful and amazing and great people, but you know, these aren't alpha type people. Apparently, they're very soft. And like a while back, they did a commercial for women, how to stop someone trying to rape you, and it was basically putting your hand out and yelling "stop." And this was a real commercial they did. I'm pretty sure it was Sweden. Like, if somebody's approaching, you can actually watch the commercial online. You can look it up, but it's this girl just putting her hand out and "stop" or something like that, or "don't, you know, don't rape me," and then that's supposed to like end all your problems, I guess. I don't know. We're not living in the same world apparently that these people are in Sweden, but so I don't know. I'm just kind of, I know I'm going off a little bit on a tangent, but I figured I'd throw that out there because they never really seem to say, is this just like random people suddenly started throwing acid in people's faces? Or is this, you know, again, is this like a concerted movement by any kind of group out there? You know, I don't know. Anyway, what a nasty, nasty thing to do to somebody too. Throw acid in someone's face. It's vicious. It's vicious. The Vatican Bank is the main shareholder in Pietro Beretta Arms Company. So I'm not sure about this one. I just wanted to throw it out there. I thought it was interesting, but I'm not even sure because I couldn't find much more on this. When I find these kind of random sites, this one's called skepticinc.com. I'm never really sure what to think exactly, but if somebody else wants to look into this and see if you could prove that the Vatican Bank is a major shareholder with the Beretta, that would be interesting. Anyway. We already did that one. Here's a little vid.
Reportedly hit by a computer virus today, and there is fear it could cripple production of key aircraft components. Boeing's chief engineer reportedly sent out a memo calling for all hands on deck. The virus is identified as WannaCry, linked to North Korea, which disabled computers around the world last year. Pilots in 2 different planes, one a Learjet, the other an American Airlines jet, reported seeing a mysterious object over Arizona last month, we have learned. The exchange with air traffic control sounded like something out of the Twilight Zone.
Number 71 Papa Golf, go ahead.
And there was anybody above us that passed us like 30 seconds ago?
Number 71 Papa Golf, negative.
Okay. Something did. Are you UFO. Yeah. It's American 1095. Yeah, something just passed over us. Like a, don't know what it was, but it's at least 2,000-3,000 feet above us. So yeah, it passed right over the top of us.
No one has figured out what it was. Other pilots did say they saw nothing.
I mean, that's interesting. And we get these every week. You know, there's a new UFO or several new UFO sightings lately. But I mean, the mainstream media rarely shows you the kind of footage that I'm showing you on a lot of these shows and other people are putting up on their YouTube channels and stuff. I mean, there are some really miraculous things happening in the skies all around the world, and it's been increasing for several years now. I try to stay on top of it. Man, it's tough. I mean, every week there's more and more stuff. So anyway, let's see what else we got up in here tonight. Have you seen this one? Will Smith went on a date with a robot, and it was amazingly awkward. So this is more of that conditioning for transhumanism and the AI takeover as well, because this had to do with Sophia. Remember the robot Sophia? That's the video, or here's the video. I guess Will Smith has he has a YouTube channel. Anyway, it's taking forever for that to load. But you can go to Will Smith has a YouTube channel. He had 1.6 million. You can get to Will Smith's YouTube channel and watch Will Smith tries online dating, and I'll read this short article here. There's no denying that Will Smith has a certain star quality about him, but his charm apparently doesn't work on everyone. In a video he shared on YouTube on Thursday, the Fresh Prince can be seen crashing and burning on a date in the Cayman Islands with none other than Sophia the robot. After attempting to flirt with Hanson Robotics' state-of-the-art artificial intelligence creation by cracking a joke about the type of music robots like and not so subtly bringing up his 80s hip-hop career, it's a long sentence. I had to take a breath twice. Okay, Smith readied himself to lean in for a kiss. Sophia, can I be honest with you, he asked. I don't know if it's the island air or the humidity, but you're just so easy to talk to. You got a clear head. Literally. But as he went on for the smooch, Sophia was quick to shut him down, saying, I think we can be friends. Let's hang out and get to know each other for a little while. Smith was clearly disappointed. Womp, womp, womp. But yeah, Sophia the robot. We all know about Sophia. Right? Right? She's been in a lot of this Hollywood news, but this is what these people do, whether they choose to or not. They're little puppets, and they're preparing the public for whatever the shadow controllers have in store. I got a new video coming out. It should be ready in a couple more days called, right now I'm calling it, Why Are Exorcists Around the World Freaking Out? But it's going to be a long video. And I'm going to click this at the top because I need this story too. Vatican to hold exorcist training course after rise in possessions. I've been reporting on the, quote, rise in possessions for like over 2 years now on my channel. Done a lot of videos about this. Because I believe that's exactly what's happening. You know, as the veil lifts, these spirits are truly running loose. And we see that in so many different forms, which one of the things I do is show you guys, you know, the different ways I see it playing out. But anyway, the Vatican is to hold a training course for priests in exorcism next month amid claims that demands for deliverance from demonic possession have greatly increased around the world. The Vatican-backed International Association of Exorcists, which represents more than 200 Catholic, Anglican, and Orthodox priests, said the increase represented a pastoral emergency. A pastoral emergency. According to a priest from Sicily, the number of people in Italy claiming to be possessed has tripled to 500,000 a year. Think about that. 500,000 people a year. Of course, some people are just, there's other issues going on, but still, that's a lot of reports. And an Irish priest has said demand for exorcisms has risen exponentially. Last year, the Christian think tank Theos reported the exorcisms were a booming industry in the UK. But some warn that deliverance ministry can be a form of spiritual abuse. Critics also say LGBT people and those with mental health issues are targeted for deliverance in belief that their sexuality or psychiatric problems are the result of demonic possession. Well, in some cases, sure. The Vatican training course, which will be held at the Pontifical, another round of big words. Look at all those big words. I don't feel like saying those. I'd have to stop for like 2 breaths saying that. The fight against the evil one started at the origin of the world and is destined to last until the end of the world, Friar Truqui, one of the speakers, told Vatican News. But today, we are at a stage crucial in history. Many Christians no longer believe in the devil's existence. This is so true. I see that from my end. You know, the stuff I put out there, I've seen so many people out there that just can't believe. It's like that old saying, I don't know where it came from, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was fooling everyone to believe that he never existed or that he doesn't exist, right? Few exorcists are appointed, and there are no more young priests willing to learn the doctrine and practice of liberation of souls. People just don't want to do this. Pope Francis has said, if a priest becomes aware of genuine spiritual disturbances, he must not hesitate to refer. I don't even like quoting Pope Francis, honestly. I think I've got a couple stories about him coming up too. Anyway, there's that story right there. Demonic possession on the rise. Be prepared. Another one, man. So every week we're getting these where there's weird anomalies in the skies. It's no longer just weird orb UFOs that shapeshift and change colors. Now we're getting these, a lot of these sky anomalies. Let's take a look at this here together.
This story's getting some talk this morning. That sight in the southwestern skies last night. People from Blythe, California, all the way to here in the valley, the West Valley, spotted this strange scene, sending us their pictures and videos. We are working to figure out what it is, but we have confirmed that Vandenberg Air Force Base didn't have any kind of a launch last night. Some say they thought that it was more of a cloud than any type of a contrail. You can surely go onto our Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook page if you have a few ideas.
Here's another one where these stories just don't stop coming, man. More and more, it's these young, very attractive female teachers who are having sex with little boys. And this has been going on for, I mean, forever, but it's been going on. It's really increased over the last several years. I did a compilation on all these teachers doing this stuff on my YouTube channel, and that was like 3 or 4 years ago. Even back then, I was like, dang, why is all these stories coming out about these young, attractive female teachers, you know, doing all kinds of nastiness with, you know, 12, 13-year-old boys, and some a little older, some even younger at times. But here's the latest. Here's the latest. The parents of the boy who was allegedly sexually abused by his teacher called her a monster who used their son for her own grotesque benefits. The boy's father and stepmother spoke out about the arrest of Brittany Zamora, 27, who was a 6th grade teacher in Arizona and is accused of molesting a boy. Police say a parent found text messages between Zamora and the male student indicating sexual activity both on and off campus. He said that it started in a classroom chat group where she would talk to him and then flirted with him, and it just progressed from there. He told us they kissed and had sex. He was taken advantage of. The couple asked the station to alter their voices and not show their faces. You teach your kids there's no such thing as monsters at all, said the father. But in the real world, there are monsters. Brittany Zamora is a monster. The couple also accused the administration of ignoring alleged warning signs and now trying to cover it up. A big thing for us is that we want people to understand just because it's a boy makes no difference, the boy's father said. It's the same. It's a 13-year-old child who got taken advantage of by a monster. I mean, seriously, though. Even down here, it says he started to express different emotions. He's sad and sleeps all day. It's starting to hit him, the reality of what actually happened. But But really, man, I mean, obviously, if this was reversed, I mean, people would just be, it'd be pitchforks and fires. They would just be on the hunt. If this was a man who did this with a young girl, it'd be a whole other story. I mean, people would be just going nuts, right? But more and more, it just seems like so many times people kind of, shrug their shoulders at stuff like this. They want to give the boy a high five, They think it's cool. What it really is, and this is my opinion on what it is, again, a subject I've covered for a long time, is that rise of narcissism, not just in our society, but in our culture. It's become a real thing. It's a real issue. It's, the selfie generation, right? But there really is this massive rise of this, even psychopathy. Yeah, psychopaths, narcissism. And I think that that's what this is when I see these stories with these young, again, very attractive young ladies screwing these little boys. I feel this is a mirror, and this is showing you what's happening in our society, in our world right now, with this rise of narcissism and all these psychopaths and all these people focused on beauty and on their own beauty. I think that's what happens with a lot of these people, because a narcissist, they want to be worshipped. Narcissists want to be worshipped. And these young, pretty ladies get out there in the classrooms. And of course, come on, guys, we were all in the 6th grade before. I remember I had a couple of really attractive female teachers I had a huge crush on when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I mean, we have that. It's already just in us, especially boys at that age. I mean, they're going bonkers on the inside. You know what I mean? So, especially when it comes to pretty girls. So they have an older, attractive lady or a teacher start coming on to them, and you're just some little boy. I mean, most of those little boys don't stand a chance. But I think that these women do it, like I said, they do it because they want to be worshipped. Can you imagine the kind of worship they receive from a 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old boy that's with this mature woman, right? These attractive, mature women. They're being worshipped, and they love it. That's what I think it is. It's a big part of it. I did a short video on this and put it up on my website. Have you seen this right here? I think it plays out.
People are expected to march in Washington, D.C. and across the country to call for an end to gun violence and school shootings. On the March for Our Lives website, Parkland survivor Emma Gonzalez wrote, "This isn't a political rally. It's literally..."
I'm afraid to play that out because of music. Like I said, YouTube's real sensitive about that, or they can be sometimes. So I don't want to play that out, but we'll just read some. The famous pussy hat, quote unquote, pussy hat, was a defining symbol of the inaugural and second Women's March. Now the women behind designing the iconic piece of protest wear is spearheading a new movement for March for Our Lives, where hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in our country are begging for the government to take our rights away. It's unbelievable. Krista Sue, an activist, artist, and screenwriter, is hoping to make, that's right, Evil Eye. The Evil Eye gloves are present at this weekend's march after the success of her pussy hat. Anyway, here's what it looks like. So this is the sign, the symbol, the logo now for March for Our Lives. This is gear people are buying in association with March for Our Lives. And I even showed in that short video I did that when you're dealing with symbolism, you go back to the beginning. It's not, anything that came since. It's how it started and what it really means. And we know this eye is standard for the Antichrist system or the beast system. And this goes back in history. In my video, I showed an old relic they found in South America in 1984. They can't even date it back. It goes back so far. And it's a pyramid with a serpentine eye at the very top of it, carved out of some kind of rock or something. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, that's what you're looking at. No pun intended. So now, as we do on my channel all the time, we look at the language of the symbols that tells the rest of the story. Now we have the symbol of the all-seeing evil eye. And you got these people marching for our lives or bathing themselves in it, some of them. So we know March for Our Lives is all about taking away the rights of Americans. right? So, of course, it's going to have a satanic agenda attached to it, or satanic symbolism. This is just kind of crazy and tragic. Speedometer inside a lesbian couple's SUV was pinned at 90 miles per hour after it plunged 100 feet off a California cliff with their 6 adopted children inside. Jennifer and Sarah Hart, both 39, were killed when their 2003 GMC Yukon crashed off the scenic Pacific Coast Highway in Northern California this week. Authorities say all 8 members of the Hart family, including the 6 children, are presumed dead, and the kids were ages 12 to 19. Police believe the couple's 3 other children, Hannah, Devontae, and Sierra, were also in the car at the time. Their bodies have not yet been found. Mystery surrounds the horror crash, given no one saw the SUV drive off a flat dirt pullout overlooking the Pacific Ocean. A search warrant was served at the family's home. Investigators said there was no evidence the car hit the embankment as it traversed towards the tidal zone below, and there were no acceleration marks, tire friction marks, or braking furrow marks. Based on the California Highway Patrol investigation, it's their belief that a felony has been committed. So crazy. Can you imagine? I mean, that's the family putting all your little ones, your whole family in a car and driving them off a cliff. Right? Here's the car at the bottom of the cliff. It's the couple. It's just something goofy I wanted to show you. I think you can watch the video. Let's see.
I need to step back so I can get some movement.
Darts plus alcohol usually isn't that big of a deal, but this might be a problem.
I need to step back so I can get some movement. It's in his head. It's in your forehead. Take it out of your forehead. I need to step back so I can get some movement. It's in his head.
Wow.
It's in your forehead.
I mean, that barely missed his temple. That barely missed his temple. Can you imagine that dart going into your temple? Not good, to say the least. Speaking of goofy, weird videos, here's another one. Check this out.
A trip to Richland Carousel Park in Mansfield is like taking a step back to a simpler time when life moved at a slower pace.
We focus on the children. That is our main focus, is to provide a good time for children and for families.
The operators of Carousel Park thought they had a nice promotion to get families through the turnstiles on Saturday. Chance to pose for photos with the Easter Bunny. But keep an eye on 54-year-old LaDonna Hewitt of Mansfield. According to witnesses, Hewitt was drunk, grabbed the person in the rabbit costume in what they call inappropriate ways, and made lewd comments, all in full view and within earshot of families at the indoor park. One of the witnesses decided to call Mansfield police.
We received a report from a citizen, an unusual report from a citizen that called us to the Richland Carousel Park of an intoxicated female doing some lewd acts on the Easter Bunny.
Witnesses say LaDonna Hewitt seemed oblivious to how inappropriate her behavior was in a family setting.
As soon as you think you hear it all, and then this, obviously this report puts it up to the top where I've never heard of somebody performing those type of acts on the Easter Bunny. And, you know, obviously the environment at the Carousel Park is family.
There you go. We get the gist. Happy Easter. There's your Happy Easter video for the day. So we're just talking about the weird things happening up in the atmosphere, right? These aren't UFOs. So here's another one right here. Let's check this out. Well, hopefully we can check it out. Let's see. There we go.
What the f is that?
I don't know, but that's maybe it's a nuclear bomb, dude.
So it's like that lady said, it's funny when she said, oh, maybe it's a nuclear bomb. And that's what I was thinking over the last several weeks when I keep finding all these videos of skies glowing orange all around the world. This is happening around the world. I can think off the top of my head of 5 we've seen. I've covered most of them here on these shows. So it's interesting. Is this a sign of, as I said in one of my videos, is this like a symbol or a sign of war in the heavens? You know, are these lying signs and wonders? You know, I'm not sure. But it is interesting, and they're on the rise. And we've been talking about it here for a while. So it's cool that we're starting to see more and more of this stuff play out. Well, it's cool that we've been talking about it for a while, and we're seeing more of it. I don't know how cool it is because I don't know exactly what it is. But more stories about Loch Ness Monster. Remember the story we did last week about that little Loch Ness Monster creature that washed up on a beach somewhere? I think it was in Georgia. And it looked exactly like what you would expect the Loch Ness Monster looked like. And it was a living creature. It wasn't fake. Anyway, somebody filmed this out at Loch Ness. They believe it's all the different ridges on the creature's back. Check this out.
What?
What's that?
What?
Pretty interesting, right? I think it is. I'm into monsters. Here we go. So you probably heard about this one. Russia releases the Satan II missile. It literally calls it Satan II. Russia's Ministry of Defense released video footage Friday of a test launch of its new intercontinental ballistic missile, the Sarmat. The short video said the missile, nicknamed Satan II, was launched from the Plisetsk Kozma. More big words I can't read. But anyway, it was launched. But yeah, just thought it was interesting. They're calling it Satan II. Because it really is any kind of, especially any kind of a nuclear weapon. And that's Satan. It's just total destruction, you know? I want to find my other story I had connected with this somewhere. Here it is. Clinton-linked cult leader who hot-branded women arrested for sex trafficking. Keith Rainier, the co-founder and leader of a secretive self-help cult called NXIVM, who was run out of Arkansas when Bill Clinton was governor, has been arrested by the FBI in Mexico and charged with sex trafficking. He fled to Mexico last November after U.S. authorities began interviewing witnesses and victims linked to NXIVM. However, finding him proved elusive after this guy began using end-to-end encrypted email and stopped using his phone. And there's some of the brands they do to the people in this cult. While NXIVM describes itself as a self-help business that has helped thousands of people reach their potential through various courses, the women's only inner sanctum led by Rainier is known as DOS, which whistleblower Frank Parlato, a Buffalo area businessman who worked for the cult, says stands for Dominus Obsequious Sororium, Latin for master over the slave women. Once they are a member or slave, they are allegedly encouraged to recruit new women into their slave pods, stop dating, and be on call 24 hours a day to their master. And this, to me, when you talk about like Illuminati ritual type, Illuminati mind control type connections to the industry, to Hollywood, this is what you're looking at here. So let's go back over here to this story. And here was this one. Alleged sex cult used Smallville stars to recruit women. These girls here from that TV show Smallville about Superman. As beautiful young co-stars in the long-running Superman prequel TV series Smallville, their biggest problem was dealing with their odd young pal Clark Kent. Then Kristen Kruk and Allison Mack signed up for an upstate seminar run by self-help guru Keith Raniere, and they met a real-life supervillain. Raniere was arrested while on the lam in his $10,000 a week Mexican villa this week, charged by federal prosecutors running a violent sex slave cult named NXIVM. Or Nexium is how they pronounce it. Okay. Burnett Kruk, who portrayed the young Superman's love interest Lana Lang, signed up, but got out before female acolytes began getting forcibly branded with cauterizing pins. Kruk had come first sometime around late 2005, early 2006, said Parlato, who first broke the story in June of women being forcibly branded as part of the sorority. Kruk brought in Allison soon afterward, said Parlato, who worked as the group's publicist. Mack played Clark Kent's starry-eyed blonde pursuer, Chloe Sullivan. Lana and Chloe went from starring in the popular Sugar Sweet CW series to starring as Raniere's top sex slave recruiters. Allison was used, as was Kristen, as a lure to bring in other women because of their celebrity status. Kruk severed ties with the group in 2012, soon after the Albany Times-Union wrote of allegations that Raniere had sex with underage girls. But Max stayed on, and according to Parlato, helped come up with the idea of sizzling the, quote, brand into initiates' skin near their groins, wow, as they were held down. About 2 by 2 inches, the mark combined Raniere's initials KR with Max AM. How nasty. Kruk was also in the inner circle, but branding was a later addition to Raniere's abuse of the women. An emaciated and frenzied-looking Mac can be seen in cell phone footage obtained by Parlato of Raniere's arrest. Allison Mack expected to be arrested next, he wrote Tuesday, saying she's an unnamed co-conspirator. She started as a slave and she became a slave master. Her nickname among defectors is Pimp Mac. Pimp Mac. And that's her on the right. That's Pimp Mac, the blonde. We're in a lot of trouble. Of course, they want to destroy our language now. They're already destroying the minds of the youth, Common Core. The University of Wisconsin campus proposes elimination of majors such as English and history.
Stevens Point is reportedly...
Here's a video. Let's see what the video says.
Discussing a plan to eliminate 13 majors, including English, philosophy, history, and Spanish. The campus is one of 11 campuses in the University of Wisconsin system and would instead focus on programs that have, quote, clear career pathways, according to a report from the Washington Post. Under the proposal, the school would expand areas that, quote, have demonstrated value and demand in the region, such as marketing or graphic design, according to the school. The administration is framing the idea as a way to increase its declining enrollment and to deal with a multi-million-dollar deficit, according to the Post.
So that's the official story. So basically, they're getting rid of English, history, philosophy. Really? Ugh. I mean, these are really some of the most important subjects. English, history, and I think philosophy is important as well. But, oh well, what do I know, huh? Let's see what this one is. Okay, this is just a kind of an article I wanted to read, so I'll come back to that. Let's go back over here. Oh yeah, this one I thought was funny. This is Danielle Bregoli, the bad Barbie girl, and she got her start on the Dr. Phil show for being a loudmouth teen, a loudmouth, obnoxious teen. And since being on the Dr. Phil show, now she's I think it was in this video, but she's talking about how she sold 500,000 copies of her first album. So this is how celebrities are made now in our world, unfortunately. And I did a video a while back. I showed you one of her videos, music videos, where she has the traditional Illuminati pyramid with an eye inside of it, drawn in on her arm somewhere. I don't know if there's a tattoo or was drawn on or whatever. And I thought that was interesting. Because beyond it being some shadowy group of people in hoods, it's a consciousness. This is the beast system consciousness. This is how we see people marked. This is the way I see it, at least. So this whole video right here, she's kind of making fun of the whole Illuminati thing. I guess I can play a little bit here.
Satanic worshippers. My name is Zaya Bergoli. I'm more commonly known as Bad Baby. Hi, satanic worshippers. My name is Zaya Bergoli. I'm more commonly known as Bad Baby. As you are probably aware, I'm an international superstar.
Let's see if it shows the Illuminati stuff here. Yeah, I mean, she's just joking around. She's going through with these apps or whatever and saying these are her Illuminati powers and stuff like that now. But, you know, just like I said, I mean, with people like this, I don't know that this child even has an idea of what it actually means or is. I mean, most kids have heard of it by now, but you know, so she's just mocking it and making fun of it, which, you know, if I was a kid and wasn't truly involved in something like this, I'd probably do the same thing, you know? So it doesn't mean that she's not being used as a puppet spiritually, though, by that system. I mean, it's more how I see it, but, you know, I thought that was interesting. I figured I'd share. Now she's making these videos, making fun of the Illuminati and being in the Illuminati. And that tells me that she probably hasn't actually met any kind of a group or anything like that yet, or done any rituals. So she thinks it's funny and she's mocking it, but she has, like I said, the tattoo or the picture somewhere. Maybe it was just for the video of the all-seeing eye in the pyramid, but oh well, kids these days, what are you going to do? Here it is. Here's another thing, is a lot of people have been talking about Nibiru lately. I've seen a few of these videos coming up here. Let's see, there it is, where people are filming and they're seeing this. Now, I've done some videos in the past and shown footage of some of this stuff. People keep filming it, and like here, those are two flares right there at the top. He shows it in the video, and that's not a flare, or whatever that is actually like it's there, right? And other people have filmed this kind of anomaly too. I just wanted to show this because, you know, I'm not into any of this Nibiru. What Nibiru is from Zecharia Sitchin, and a lot of his work's already been debunked. So I'm not going to take some man's word on something this massive. And what you can do, if you're interested in this, is look into the Bible and look up wormwood. Wormwood is, I believe, that planetary body or this other system. And people always call it Nibiru, but I don't think that, like I said, Nibiru came from Sitchin, from a guy, where the Bible does talk about, you know, a destroyer type planet or a planet X or wormwood. So that's, if that's really what we're seeing, like these images and stuff, then I think that's could very well be wormwood, maybe, right? And there's some things that come along with it. And another reason why a lot of people are saying that it has to do with Nibiru, just because if you haven't heard all the background on Nibiru, people are associating the red mist with it, though. You probably heard about this, right? So there's a lot of this going on. I've got a short video I put together. I'll put up my website for this one. It's not big enough to put on my YouTube channel, but ISS came into contact with some red mist. And then right here on April 1st, the sky in Algeria has turned red. A lot of people associate this red thing, this red mist and all that with Nibiru too, just saying. Had a strange orange snow phenomenon just over this past week. So there's a lot of strange things going on out there. Have you heard about this one? There's this bizarre Easter ritual. Mexican Catholics whip each other to free each other from sin. Oh boy. Let's watch this for a second. Ouch. Happy Easter, guys. Is this really something you think our Heavenly Father would want us to engage in? I mean, I'm just saying. Oh boy. Seen that story. Get another YouTube video.
Can cell phones really cause cancer?
Watch this.
A question that's dodged researchers for.
So, you know, forever we've been told nothing to worry about with cell phones, electronics, everything's cool. This has all been a lie. I put some of this in. I did a video on the 5G and how dangerous that network is. But anyway, finally, they're starting to tell us the truth now. So check this out.
Years now, but a group of experts are now saying the results of some tests are pretty surprising. Here is consumer editor Susan Copen.
Millions, maybe billions of us constantly call, text, click, take pictures, and play on our cell phones. Even the top cellular radiation researchers from around the world have a hard time untethering. But they gathered recently in North Carolina to talk about cell phone concerns and whether they really do increase our chances of developing cancer. The panel voted that the results from years of testing on mice and rats were more significant than originally thought. They say they found clear evidence that phone radiation caused tumors in the hearts of rats, similar to tumors in people.
In humans, it's seen in the vestibular nerve in the ear, the acoustic nerve. We found it in the heart, although our animals were exposed in their whole body condition.
While a given animal is not making a cell phone call, they are, throughout their short 2-year lifetime, getting the same exposure that we would expect people to get in their 70-plus years of life.
Activists are now calling for more protections, citing separate studies from France and Italy.
Many brain tumor lawsuits going on right now that are waiting for a study like this to prove that people's brain cell phone radiation.
And there are new concerns on the horizon. 5G is about to debut a stronger system of broadband. Some activists say the government has a responsibility to increase regulations.
And I think it's
Well, yeah, because they'll do the same thing they did with cell phones. They put the technology out, and they say nothing to worry about, right? Like they said in this news report, it's, you know, they didn't see this coming. Oh, okay. And now we have the 5G about to roll out, which if we already having problems with the system that's already in place, it's just going to get worse. I've shown, like I said, videos on this. There's footage people have filmed palm trees sitting next to these towers that are dying and dead. So this is the system coming up and going up all around us. But it's a good thing at least this local CBS News is trying to get something out there on it, you know? This one just wanted to throw out for fun. Now, I don't know this guy's name in the video, but several of you wrote me in comment sections and told me to go check this guy out in the past because you didn't trust him, right? And I went and watched him, and I got the same really weird vibe off the guy. He preaches. He's a preacher, I guess. But I don't know. He just comes off weird and dark, and he showed up out of nowhere, and he's already got tons of subscribers. I never trust that. It's like the guy's only been on YouTube since it was December, I think, this past December, and he's already got over 30,000 subs. Check it out. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. He has tons of subs, though. I was really surprised by that. And everything he does is preaching, where he's sitting around like this. But some of the stuff he's preaching, I don't think is coming from the Bible. This has just been my impression. I don't know his name, but I thought it was interesting. Marino Delfino. I've been subbed to this guy, gosh, for years. And he always does these videos of what he believes are people's holograms breaking down. He's into the, God, what is it? The liquid crystal holographic technology stuff. And he believes that, you know, some of these are like demons or reptilians among us, but they're hiding not just in human skin, but in weird technology. Now, this is Marino Delfino I'm talking about. So he did a video on this guy where apparently he thinks this guy's glitching out a little bit. So let's watch some. And he filmed this from the guy's just video. This is Marino Delfino. I've never seen him fake anything. He probably just took a clip he saw. And it was this clip on this guy's channel where his hands and all this stuff are freaking out. It's just seems like it's all over the place. Now, this is Marino Delfino's area, not mine, when it comes to liquid crystal holographic technology. But anyway, I just want to share it because if you're one of the people out there that told me to check this guy out, if you can leave like in the chat or in the comments below who he is. I can't remember his name, but anyway, I'm with you guys. I feel like he's a plant or something, and I just don't trust him. There's something about the guy, but who knows? Yeah, this is really crazy. This little jerk here, David, we know David, this guy down here, right here. Anyway, his attempt to end Laura Ingram's career sets a dangerous precedent. Laura Ingram's a conservative talk show lady. She's on Fox News. She also has a nationwide radio show. She's a Christian as well, talks a lot about her faith and stuff. She got into it with this guy. Let's see what the story says. Maybe we can just kind of listen to it here. Check this out. Let's see.
One of the student survivors of the Parkland, Florida mass shooting is calling for people to target Fox News host Laura Ingram's advertisers after she posted a critical tweet of him about being rejected from colleges. Ingram had tweeted a Daily Wire story earlier Wednesday about Parkland student David Hogg not getting into 4 colleges that he had applied to. Hogg replied a few hours later, tweeting at the Fox News host, asking her who her biggest advertisers were. He later tweeted out a list of Ingram's advertisers, telling people to contact those companies. Hogg has emerged as a national figure in the weeks since the mass shooting at this Florida high school that left 17 people dead. He helped organize and lead the March for Our Lives in D.C. on Saturday.
But what a little weasel, you know, to me. The guy is just a little weasel. You saw that's what happened. You know, he went after this Ingram. And he's going after her money. He's going after her sponsors and asking the sponsors to withdraw their support from this lady because she dared say something about him not making it into these colleges. So this article's right. This sets a very, very dangerous precedent. But unfortunately, I feel it's unfolding. I did a video a while back called First the Statues, Then the Churches, and this is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing. It's a dividing between the sheep and the tares, or the sheep and the tares, the wheat and the tares, you know, the sheep and the goats. And you're seeing people that, you know, we talk about the rise of narcissism and sociopaths and psychopaths. We're seeing a dividing line between the two. And you can see where a lot of this stuff eventually, America is becoming more communist, obviously, with all this stuff. Look at what's happening on YouTube and all the social media and everything else. So it's not a big leap to see this consciousness that's behind this, where sooner or later it will be straight up targeting Christians or conservatives. It already is on so many other levels as well. In fact, today was the first day that YouTube started taking down any YouTube channels or censoring YouTube channels that talk about certain weapons. So you probably heard about that. So that's where we're at. But now you got this little weasel can do this and like potentially actually take down someone's career who's been at it for like, I don't know, 20 something years. It's crazy. This is pretty crazy. Hillary Clinton was paid $7,000 less than Snooki from Jersey Shore for a speech at Rutgers University. That's pretty wild. This goes to show, though, you got to follow the money and everything, and people apparently don't really care what the old witch has to say. Good. Good, I say. Here's two I wanted to show just kind of back to back. Have you seen this video? This was a CCTV at a railway station in China, and it recorded what they believe is a ghost train. So check this out for a second. Remember, this is CCTV. Like, this didn't actually exist. This just showed up. This image showed up on the CCTV camera. And then it left. Okay, so this is where we get into, like, I've talked about the veil lifting and reality shifting, and we're seeing residual or something, potentially, because then we have this story. People keep seeing this mysterious RAF jet in the UK skies that doesn't exist. A ghost plane has been spotted by multiple people in the skies over the Peak District, and the mysterious aircraft belongs to another era. The Douglas Dakota plane has been sighted several times in the area, and it has locals thoroughly spooked. It's a model that used to be flown by the RAF more than 60 years ago. Adding to the mystery are reports that one of the jets crashed in the vicinity in the 1940s. According to Peak District Online, there have been at least 50 plane crashes in the area, which has been named the Dark Peak. It's earned the unofficial title of UK's Bermuda Triangle. I think there's some footage of this too. No? Let me see. I thought I'd heard of some footage. Let's see here. Ghost plane. Plane. UK. Footage. Videos. Guess not. I could have swore there's some footage somewhere of this. Anyway, that's interesting. Ghost plane and ghost train. This is interesting. Most of y'all probably heard about this. I've seen a lot of people making videos on it. The Vatican literally falls apart after the Pope Francis says that hell doesn't exist. Apparently, he said hell doesn't exist. And right after, part of the Vatican fell down on these people. There's pictures of the pieces on the floor there. Just hours after the Pope reportedly dismissed the fiery afterlife, the ceiling of St. Peter's Basilica began to crumble. Easter worshippers ducked for cover as debris rained down on the floor by Michelangelo's Pieta statue yesterday. The Vatican reported no injuries and minimal damage. It's interesting, though. Some stories in the past about lightning striking areas of the Vatican as well. So, makes one wonder, don't it? The last video I've got is this one right here. It's Christians in the Philippines go and get crucified for Easter. So there's that. I've seen there's people in Israel, I think, that go through and do some of these things too. I never understood that. I feel plenty close to Jesus. I feel plenty close to God. I don't feel I need to do this kind of stuff. But that's me. Everybody can worship in their own way, right? But I just thought that was interesting. And there you go, guys. That concludes the week, this past week, for KJ's What Happened. So now I'm going to jump over here real quick to the chat. and just say hi. Hey guys, man, we got a great crowd, over 800 tonight. Thanks a lot for listening, y'all. Thanks for being here. I hope you appreciated it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a great week ahead of you. I've got a couple big videos coming up this week. I just did a catching up with KJ a few nights ago. It was a lot of fun. It was nice just to be able to talk to you guys. So I'll do another one of those maybe this week. Definitely got some big videos coming. Want to shout out to those of you who support me on Patreon. Thank you so much. If anybody else would like to support my videos, my shows like this, my website, I'll leave links below. And you can also check out my website, whoiskjosborne.com. Big thanks to Silver Botanicals, my sponsor. Once again, guys, please check out their products. They'll replace your household products with all natural cleaning products and more than cleaning products, even like personal use products. silverbotanicals.com. So on that note, man, I love you guys. Thanks again for being here with me. You guys take care. I'm going to free Chubbs out of his prison here momentarily. I'll let him know you guys were asking about him. And until next time, man, y'all just stay safe. Stay sane. It's a crazy world we're in. It sure is fun watching it all unfold, though, isn't it? Stay sane, stay cool, stay blessed, and I'll talk to you next time.